Welcome to this short video. Our aim with this is to help you to understand how important the behavioural and emotional side of coaching is, the huge impact it can have on your effectiveness as a deliverer and the experience that your participants have. So what is emotional intelligence in simple terms? The ability to understand and control your emotions and the emotions of those around you and manage your relationships accordingly. So why is emotional intelligence so important? Because emotions drive thoughts, thoughts drive behaviour, and behaviour drives performance in your role and in the outcomes you are trying to achieve for your participants. What goes on under the surface has a huge impact on what you see. So what emotions are we talking about? And how can we go about getting better in this area? Let's have a look at this scenario. A 51-year-old man, a JAMU, turns up at the beginning of your cardio tennis session. He won't look you in the eye and is very hesitant in approaching you. You're a bit annoyed as you want to get on with the session. Finally, he seems to make up his mind and comes up to you and says, "Actually, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to stay for the session." You ask him why. He gets a bit defensive. He tells you he hasn't played for ages, is unfit, and is worried about what everyone else will think. Let's unpick this a bit and see what might be going on under the surface. Starting with the JAMU, what emotions and feelings is he experiencing? Well, the signs and indicators are that he's nervous and lacking in confidence. He might have low self-esteem. He may not be very good at expressing his emotions, and he may have low levels of optimism. What about you? Your ability to manage stress will be relevant here, as you will be conscious of the need to get on with the session and thinking about the other participants. Depending on how assertive you are, you might find it difficult to deal with the situation head-on. Key to the situation will be your emotion perceptiveness, not just your ability to pick up on your emotions and how the situation is making you feel and act, but also a JAMU's emotions. And what about your levels of empathy towards a JAMU? Not forgetting, of course, the whole group. How are your emotion perception and social awareness levels here? To what extent are you able to pick up on the impact on the group as a whole, what they are feeling and how they are behaving? So what sort of actions, tools and techniques can you apply to this situation? To start with, engage with the JAMU. Ask him if he would mind waiting for a couple of minutes. Then get the group started on a task, one they can do themselves with confidence. Then have a brief chat with the JAMU, explaining you'd like to take a couple of minutes off his time if that's okay, setting expectations. Start with the positive. It's great that you've come down to today's session. And then ask an open question to try and ascertain more and listen. You might ask, for example, how did you find out about today's session? What made you come down? Affirm his feelings. It won't help to tell him that he shouldn't be feeling what he's feeling. Finally, help problem solve. You could suggest that he stays and watches, or that you find another time to have more of a chat, or that he comes down again next week and sees how he feels. Things for you to consider. Be aware of too much empathy. You cannot get so wrapped up in a JAMU situation that you forget the group. Think about how you're managing your stress levels and regulating your own emotions and expressing them. And after the session, reflect on the situation. What did you do well? And what could you have done better? So, to recap, think about what's going on below the surface. Remember that emotions drive thoughts, thoughts drive behaviour, and behaviour drives performance in your role and in the outcomes you're trying to achieve for your participants. When you consider the emotions side of things, remember to think about you, others as individuals, and the group as a whole. How you react to and deal with things will have a huge impact on the success of the session. Remember, in the kind of scenario described, to set expectations, start with a positive, use open questions and listen, affirm their feelings, and help problem solve. And after each session, ask yourself, what did I do well and what could I have done better? And ideally, write this down.